As of today, two COVID-19 vaccines have received emergency use authorization from the FDA. Widespread vaccination campaigns are well underway, and many people are happy about that. A third vaccine, which uses a different biological system, just got approved in the United Kingdom, and it's likely to receive the same treatment from the FDA. However, there's still a lot of concern, a lot of public concern. Many people are still not convinced about the safety of those vaccines. Having read some of the latest scientific literature on the topic and having followed global current events and watched social media reactions, I'd like to say a few words about those two vaccines that have been authorized by the FDA. Now, I'm not here to convince anyone to take or not to take a vaccine. I just think whether you're considering taking or not taking a vaccine, it's always better to make an informed decision. Since the beginning of this pandemic, I've been sharing COVID-19 related information on my Friendly Guillaume Registered Dietitian Facebook page. And any information that I've shared has either been directly from scientific sources or included scientifically vetted content, whether it's been about the virus, prevention precautions, treatments, or vaccines. I understand that everybody gets their information from different sources, and there are plenty of sources of credible information about vaccines. But we all know that there's a lot of misinformation, particularly about vaccines. It's incredible the amount of pseudoscience that's being propagated out there. The best thing I can do about that is to offer credible information and hope that some people who are seeking to be informed understand the difference. Now, when the FDA, as well as regulatory agencies of other developed countries such as the United Kingdom, Canada, Switzerland, and basically the entire European Union bloc, have looked at the available evidence and decided that a certain vaccine is safe to unleash on the public, I have to assume that there's convincing evidence of its safety and effectiveness. That doesn't mean that they know everything there is to be known about those vaccines. It simply means that based on the available evidence, they can conclude that the benefits outweigh the risks. That's why those vaccines have only been given emergency use authorization by the FDA and not full licenses. So, where's that evidence? Well, the New England Journal of Medicine, which is the pinnacle of medical science literature, has published some of it in articles and video summaries. They are available without subscription, and I've shared links to them on my Facebook page. So I'm just going to refer to those for further detail. What can I say about these FDA authorized vaccines? It so happens that both of them are RNA vaccines, which you've all heard is a new thing, a new technology. Vaccines in general have been around since 1796, when a scientist named Edward Jenner created the first one. And so far, vaccines have not wiped out any human population. In fact, all they've wiped out have been diseases such as smallpox, diphtheria, pertussis, polio, tuberculosis, etc. You already know that vaccines work by activating your immune system, your natural defense mechanism. But what's new about RNA vaccines is the way they do that. They use different biological pathways to activate the immune system, to provoke an immune response and cause your immune system to produce specific antibodies. To explain that in layman's terms, instead of using the virus itself, they use part of the virus's genetic material encased in a nanoparticle. By using the biological processes that already take place in your body, this genetic material is then able to reproduce a relatively harmless piece of the virus that is known to activate the immune system. One of the things that's triggering a lot of fear out there is the word nanoparticle. Some people think that somehow nefarious individuals are trying to tag you and track you with these nanoparticles. So let's debunk that myth. First of all, we're not talking about anything like a pet microchip, which is an implantable device that's big enough to hold in your hands. Second, nanoparticle simply refers to a particle that is so small that it is measured in nanometers and cannot even be seen with a regular microscope. Now, it is true that nanotechnology is used in electronics. The microchips and many of the components of your electronic devices, for instance, are made of nanoparticle subcomponents. But those nanoparticle subcomponents are semiconductors, resistors, and dielectric materials that make up transistors and capacitors. Those are solid state nanoparticles. They do not work well in water. That's the reason cell phones or tablets don't work when water gets into them. Biological nanoparticles, on the other hand, are very different from electronic nanoparticles. The ones used in vaccines are more like fatty microdroplets that can withstand water and are very unstable at body temperature. These molecules are currently being used by the pharmaceutical industry to protect certain drugs, and in this case, the vaccine, from deteriorating before it does its job, before they do their job. Once injected into the bloodstream, they find your cell membranes and fuse with them and fall apart to release their messenger RNA molecules that are the active substance in the vaccine. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about RNA vaccines for now. I hope this clarifies things in case anybody didn't know what an RNA vaccine is or how it works or what it does to you.